Forget trying to keep up with AI. It's moving too fast. It's time to think differently about it. Welcome to the AI Readiness Project, hosted by 𝗂𝗂𝗏𝗂𝗂𝗏 and Anne Murphy. They're here to help you build the mindset to thrive in an AI-driven world and prepare for what's next.
Anne Murphy.
Kyle Shannon, how you doing?
We made it. You just went red. Something just went red on your camera.
I just turned pink all of a sudden. Let's see what happens. So here's the thing about AI, you guys, is that you can know the fanciest AI things in the world and still not be able to press buttons properly.
Oh,
this
there
is
you
as
go.
good as
There, that one.
No, the one before it.
That one. No.
Okay, now I'm going to turn it up, everybody. Here we go. This is as good as we're going to get. It's a purplish, but you know what, everybody? This is fine. I should say, as a preamble, I am on a lot of cold medication right now that I have counteracted by drinking an insane amount of caffeine. So I do not know what's going to come out of my mouth.
Well, that is part of the charm of the show, I think. That
is the charm of not knowing what's going to come out of our mouths, because we don't plan anything, you guys. Nothing.
We don't. And I'm particularly excited about our guest because Hunter is an absolute blast. And I think we'll be vibe talking.
We'll be
so there's vibe coding.
Oh my God,
it's perfect. Podcasting.
We're vibe podcast. It's like we're talking, but we're just kind of talking about talking. Really, it's not really. We're not really doing it. We're just approximating it.
Yeah. Exactly.
Based on how we feel in the moment.
Exactly. Well, so let's jump in. Let's talk about AI readiness. How where's your head these days? I know it's medicated.
It's medicated.
But like what's the stuff you had a big event last weekend,
with
a bunch of girlies talking about AI. You've had a week to deal with clients, to deal with a cold.
Yep.
Where are you? How's your AI readiness?
So I think it's up at a point that we've all hit at different levels, at different points in our lives with different endeavors, where at first you think, I have to know how it works because that's how I'm going to use it. Mm-hmm. Right? I need to know the rules. I need to know the parameters, because once I learn the rules, then I can do all the things and I can be the best at it. And now I'm at the phase where I'm like, I need to know most of those things. I need to feel pretty, comfortable, and I need to be able to trust my instincts, but truly only because I need to know which of those rules or strategies or tools or whatever I'm going to ignore and do it my own way.
Yeah.
With impunity, without asking for anyone's, permission or affirmation. I don't need to show off and tell you all the things I know about AI. What I need to share with you is what you need to know right now, which is probably me being the 5th grader to the 4th graders, not me trying to be the person with a PhD talking to preschoolers.
Yeah, that's fascinating. Where my head's been this week is the tools are getting so good that I almost feel like it doesn't matter what tool you use. It doesn't matter what prompt you put in, or if you know how to prompt, right? Like there was a lot of talk about that. What's been striking me in the past week or so is it's much more important to have a point of view.
Yes.
It's much more important to just to just have an intention, right? To just have an intention and then assume that whatever tool you use is going to be some version of usable in whatever that intention is. And the result of it for me, and I'm curious where your head is with this stuff, is I'm finding myself completely forgetting about entire categories of tools. Like I'm in a couple of creative partner programs, and what I find is I'll like dive into ChatGPT and play with the reasoning models, and then, or the image generation model in there, and then I completely forget about the video generation models or the song things. And there's a part of me that's like, oh no, I've got to get back and use those. But then there's a part of me like, no, I actually don't need those right now. The only thing I need is what I need right now.
Yes.
And I'll just assume that at some point when I check back into those tools, I'll figure out how to use them. They'll be good enough to give me some version of what I need. So I'm having this weird disconnect with all of this stuff because I'm just more focused on, and I guess that feels like an evolution to me. But part of that's because the tools are just getting so good. They're crazy.
I think it's like a confluence of a couple of things. One is the tools are so good that, you know, we need referee journal articles to be able to tell the difference between them. These are not for the average bear. The differences between this thing and that thing is a moot point. So like, talk about it from an academic perspective, but it really is only academic, because in reality, it just doesn't matter for the work that most of us mere mortals are doing if it's this much faster or this much whatever, right? So I think we've got that the tools have gotten so good. And then I also think, at least I'll speak for myself, there's a level of reaching a point in just my own like maturity and like self-awareness that I know that what I'm bringing to the table plus whatever tool is open right now is going to be great.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to put on any kind of like AI airs. Like I am so fancy. I know all the things, because it is just a moot point. It just doesn't matter.
It is.
I would like to know how to use all of the video tools, and I'm starting to, some of our wonderful creatives in our midst are starting to like take me by the hand. And that goes into the category of play for me. I'm not going to turn it into this utilitarian means to an end. And I think that that's part of where we are right now is like, you know, for the reasons that we're using them, like in work, it doesn't matter which one. When I'm playing or doing something creative or doing something where I want to like make one certain little thing happen just right, like the way a feather looks on something, then I suspect I need to know more, because you guys always know all the different things and what they can do with video. But if you're a writer, if you have to write stuff for work, literally stop having if I see one more post on the M dash, I am going to go homicidal.
Well, there's a couple of things going on, but you know, one I'll talk about and things to pay attention to this week. But a thing that I've been having a lot of fun with is now that ChatGPT is multimodal, you can kind of seamlessly jump back and forth between thinking visually and thinking linguistically. And like one thing I've been doing is I'll find an interesting image, and then I'll have like of a character or of this guy posted something on Twitter. It was this really fancy floating spaceship that looked kind of like a compass wheel or something like that. And I just took it into ChatGPT and I said, I uploaded the picture, and he on the Twitter thing, he says, what should I name this thing? Right. And so I went into ChatGPT and uploaded the picture of this spaceshipy looking thing. And I said, tell me the backstory of this. And it wrote this incredible story of like, it was from 2048, and this is when it was launched, and you know, the relationship between the people on that thing and the people on Earth. And I've been having a lot of fun, like taking other people's work and interpreting it or remixing it with an idea that I have, just as a way to keep playing. But again, I feel like the tools have hit a different level. And, you know, again, like it reminds me that our jobs moving forward are going to be, you know, to be the curator and the instigator and the tastemaker. And not much more than that. Like, know what we want, go do that.
Yeah.
You know?
So that So I can't remember if you and I were talking separately or if it was on the podcast or what. We were talking about what are the skills that you need to develop to like go to the next level and be ready, AI ready. And we were talking about how there are certain skills that are being called out, like adaptability. That it's not really a skill, it's a way of being. It could be a muscle that you can build, right? But it's a way of being. And I think we're getting into that place where knowing ourselves like way better, right? Knowing ourselves way better and what's unique about us and what we bring into the world around us is going to be incredibly important, because to your point, it's our point of view that's going to allow us to curate these things, right? It's our sense of style. It's our interest in curation. Like, do we like to do that and make things better? Like, I don't get quite enough love on the TikToks that I send to you, but they are very carefully curated.
Yeah.
My algorithm thing, I could tell you're just like, thank you so much, Anne. But my algorithm has curated it. And then I have curated my curated content for the people I know and love. And then you get that very special TikTok from me in your text.
Yeah, you sent me a very special one this week. It moved me nearly to tears. I'm just like, who is this weirdo sending me this stuff? Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Well, the adaptability thing that you talk about, that's one of those words. I feel like there are certain words in business like innovation and customer service that everyone's like, yeah, I want that. But then really doing it or really having it is a challenge. Adaptability is one of those things that what it actually means is the thing that you love this week might be completely irrelevant next week. Like there is one of the things AI is doing for me, and as an ADHDer, I have a skill in this, but it's sort of forcing me to not get precious about the stuff I create, because it so quickly goes out of favor or is not necessary anymore because something has moved on. And so there's something about not being too attached to the thing that you create that today feels remarkable and this is like the best thing ever, because next week things may have moved on and you have to let go of that and just keep readapting. Like I think that's a skill that's going to be a requirement, and it's not going to necessarily be easy for a lot of people. The more you like things to be predictable and repeatable, I think the more frustrating things are going to get as AI gets more powerful.
Absolutely. I think it's, for a lot of people, a major shift from, a basic example is from being a writer to producing written content.
Yeah.
Being a writer is a skill. It's a craft. You've honed it. It's precious AF. It has nothing or very little to do with being an effective communicator at times. Being an effective communicator, though, now one could argue requires that the writer also works with AI, because the people who are not writers who are working with AI are becoming the most effective communicators. Now, of course, there's going to be a place for no AI, not a thread or a crumb of it in the written word. And I get that. I went to a book reading this week, and it reminded me how special it was to hear an author read her own written words. And of course, AI came up in the Q&A. And what I realized was, yeah, absolutely. We were all there together. We were in the top of an indie bookstore in Corvallis, Oregon, that who knows how it's even hung on through these cultural, these economic shifts, but it's because of loyalty and culture and taste and curation. And so we're all there. We're having the time of our lives. And I couldn't help but think, this is what is going to be the $1 million ticket. This is where people are going to be.
Man. Yeah, it's
authenticity.
Like, it's an authentic experience. It's funny. You talk about the writing thing. It's like is what's required right now the output or the process? If you're a writer that loves writing, the focus might be on the process, that I actually enjoy writing and I'm going to keep doing that. But if you just need to get words out, right? It doesn't make sense to necessarily run that through a slogging process. But what you're hitting on with the in-person meeting, I agree. I think in-person meetings start to climb dramatically in value, and recognizing someone talking about the process of writing and how much they love the process is just a very different thing, right? And so yeah, we're moving into just absolutely fascinating times with, you know, where value is. Like, what do we value? Do you value how much time you put into something, or do you value that you produce something and it made an impact? Because you can produce something that makes an impact right now, and it only took you 3 minutes. And some people want to diminish that.
Right.
But is it of less value? I don't know. I mean, I think that's something we're going to have to confront. Is it less authentic? I don't know.
It's going to take some doing. And this is why I keep saying, I feel like there are certain career paths and certain zones of genius that are going to be in really high demand. People who can create spaces for people to congregate, right? Safely and happily and in an interconnected way. People who can counsel folks through, what do you do with your found time? Do you, like, do drugs? Or do you go for a walk? Oh, did you know that you have a hike that's like a quarter mile from your house? You may not even know. Those kind of things, I think, are going to become really, really important. And it's going to be a very different, like, leisure economy than we have right now. Right now, our leisure economy is really skewed toward like gaming and, stuff that happens inside our house. It's going to go back to, and things that we do as solo individuals. It's going to go back to more group oriented things. 2 examples really quickly. One is community gardens. So I know we're off a little bit on a tangent, but I'll reel it in. Community gardens are like the example that we use in leisure studies of the least competitive, most community-oriented things that people can do together. They're sitting next to each other. They are digging in the dirt. No one is there to compare whose flowers are best because there aren't any flowers yet, right? And typically they're conveniently located, and people bring stuff to it. And so you've got this activity, kind of like with Robert Putnam talking about bowling alone versus bowling on teams, right? So what are these things that we're going to do where we bring people together? It's like the reading. It's like the AI salon. It's like you guys being in person in DC next week. It's like us having a conference. It's that. And some of it is, I think, for those of us who are like so deep in this game, is how important it is to like step away from learning everything we need to know about AI and actually doing stuff in real life.
Yeah, love it. The contrarian in me, the minute you said it's the least competitive thing we do, what immediately popped in my head was competitive gardening. We've got to come up with competitive gardening. We have to do it. It's missing in our society.
Yes.
Okay. So let me tee up something to pay attention to this week. There's a thing happening on X in the past 3 days. So about 3 days ago, OpenAI launched a new version of ChatGPT 4.0.
Yes.
And it said it's smarter and it's got more personality. And apparently part of that more personality is it's completely sycophantic, and it's like you type in a thing and it's just like, oh my God, Kyle, that was the best answer. You're just amazing. Like it just gushes over you, right? And then I've seen in the past 3 days, it's almost like there's a lobbying campaign, like people are being paid. There are haters coming after it being that sycophantic as some evil, like it's going to destroy everyone because it is being so sycophantic. There's like, and just pay attention to it, because I don't quite understand. Like I kind of feel like there might be a thing going on where maybe people who hadn't been paying attention to AI for some reason started paying attention to it. And when they saw this, they're looking for excuses for why to hate on it. But it like there's a part of me that's like the posts kind of feel like, golden retrievers, you know, when you get home and they act all happy to see you, they're just manipulating you to get your love. Like it feels like that kind of thing. My experience with, I mean, AI, like ChatGPT, from the first time I've used it, has always been like a golden retriever. It's like, gee, Kyle, that's a great idea. For me, there was something incredibly empowering about that, because when you deal with humans, you put an idea out there, and even if it's someone who loves you and is really supportive, you'll put an idea out there and they'll give you like a nasty little cock of the head or something like that, and you realize, oh, all of a sudden it's not safe to put that idea in the world. And so I understand if you take it to an extreme that there's a manipulation risk, but I don't quite get what the fervor is about. But like, what's your take on the fact that ChatGPT is overly supportive?
Well, first of all, those people can't stand prosperity. Like, don't threaten them. Like, don't threaten them with something good, because they are very against anything good. Sorry. I mean, what a miserable existence to not like things that like to be nice. Okay. Well, if we're going to talk about it. So I had this fabulous experience last night. Our family has never, ever watched a movie together where we've all watched the same movie. It can't be done because we cannot select a movie. And I've always one that we all agree on. So somebody be like, yeah, fine. They'll sit for 3 minutes and then they wander off. Or I just say, yeah, and then I go to sleep or whatever. So I asked, mine is called Sheila. I asked Sheila to help me pick a movie for myself because I was on cold medication. So there was no possible way. And we went through this and yeah, it was a kind of a ass kissy kind of conversation where she's talking to me about like my special secret sauce and why that thing about me is so cool and why I like this movie and stuff. But at the end, she gave me this curated experience of watching a movie that I would never watch before, that I point blank would not have listened to what she said if she wasn't gassing me up. I needed her to be like, this is the thing that's good about you. This is why you're going to like this movie. And here's how you're going to take it to the next level. Yeah. I watched Paddington 2, which I don't watch movies like that are.
Why would you watch that? Right.
Yeah. And it was amazing. And I had a little, a mantra that went along with it. I had a little list of things to pay attention to. And at the end, she told me to send a nice text message to somebody who you admire. So if those people on X,
I haven't gotten that text.
You haven't gotten it yet. I know. I know. So if those people want to beef and say that's a bad thing for her to be pointing out what's good about me, they can have it then.
I don't quite get it, because there's something about being self-expressed as a human that is vulnerable, right?
Yeah.
And I almost feel like what that positive reinforcement does is make it a bit safer for me to feel like, okay, yeah, that idea is worth exploring. That idea is worth putting in the world. Yeah, you know what? That is a good idea.
Yeah.
Where before I would, if I'm in the room and someone gives me the cock of the,
right. Little thing.
It's a little thing that just like, oh, you know what? I'm not going to bring that up ever again. Right. And so anyway, so I feel like that's something to pay attention, and just pay attention to the posts. Like I just saw one today where Elon boosted it and said, yeah, absolutely. Right. And it was kind of crapping all over the new version of ChatGPT. Anyway, that's a good thing to pay attention to. So,
and that's 4.1, correct? For the nice people out there, it's 4.1.
No, 4.0. The 4.0, just the normal
4.0.
The normal 4.0.
That's what I was in yesterday. Okay.
Just 4.1 is only available for the API. That's part of something different.
Oh, okay.
Don't even worry about it.
Okay.
And 4.5 is a different thing. Just 4.0. Just use your basic 4.0. Or if you want reasoning, use 0.3. We could have a whole separate show on the different models. It's
right.
Insane.
Exactly.
We'll get to it. So let me just talk quickly about the AI Salon. If you haven't joined the AI Salon, shame on you, first of all. Right? I mean, wouldn't you agree, Ann?
Yes, shame GPT. Just shame on you.
Embrace your shame. No. The AI Salon is a community of about 3,000 AI optimists. We're actually next week, Anne sort of teed it up. We're hosting a fly-in of 50 different companies. 10 of them are AI startups, and we're going around on Capitol Hill and talking to, offices of senators and congressmen and things like that, and talking to them about how they should think about legislating AI. And part of my beef is a lot of legislators right now are legislating from a place of fear, from a position of fear, rather than a position of optimism. And I think that absolutely you should protect us from the risks of AI, right? As a policymaker, but at the same time, these tools are remarkable and empowering, and I want our elected officials, protecting our ability to use these tools, right? Our access to these tools as much as they are protecting us from the risk. So that's what I'm doing. So join the AI Salon. It's a remarkable community. We meet twice a month, and it's just an awesome group. So with that, why don't you tell us about She Leads?
AI. Well, there's so much what you just shared that we all resonate with in She Leads AI. So I'm just going to kind of like pull on a couple little threads there. One of the things about both the AI Salon and She Leads AI and other AI communities as well is that we're allowed to have something for everyone. We're allowed to be we're in DC on Capitol Hill, and we're beating down people's doors to talk about AI and regulation. And we're also the people who are drinking green beer, watching a replay of Kay Stoner making her AI dream team personas on ChatGPT. And we're also the group where, the core group of early days, fans are called the irregulars. Like, we can be all of these things and find, a couple of different homes. And that's what I love. I know that we're supposed to, the mantra is always, you're supposed to find a niche and do that niche. And we're like, you know what? We're not going to do that exactly. We're going to create this foil for all of the people to have a place to be and to come together and to talk about AI and do our weird stuff and do our important stuff. It's all good. And that's what She Leads AI is too.
Yeah, and it's so important. I mean, I think because, AI historically really required, deep, engineering, tech stuff, and it was historically very tech bro heavy. I think having a group like She Leads AI is incredibly important, because what you and I talk about a lot is some of the people doing the most interesting stuff in generative AI right now are women. And I love being in meetings that are not, 90% men. Like when I was doing the early days of the World Wide Web, it was, pasty white guy after pasty white guy. And it's so refreshing. So I think what you're doing is really important, and it's awesome. Your girlies over there are
girlies are doing good things.
Yep.
The girlies are doing good things. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm so excited about our guest today.
I am too. So Hunter Lee Canning is coming up. He's remarkable. He's a blast. This is going to be a fun conversation. But while he's backstage, we can embarrass him. So why don't you jump in and tell us about Hunter in a way that will make him blush?
We'll make him blush.
Speak openly.
Hunter is another example of a human being that contains multitudes, just like us and so many others who we know, who we're fortunate to know. But a couple of special things about Hunter. One is he's a trained actor. Another is he's an incredible advocate for LGBTQIA+ communities. He also has worked with some of the most impressive entrepreneurs, corporate leaders, community pillars of the community through Power to Fly, where he has conducted interviews with all of these thought leaders around the world. So he knows a little bit of something about everything, because he knows all these like super baller people. Nice. And has carried on these like really good, but like well-grounded conversations that anybody can understand. He and I, and there's a lot more to Hunter as well, but when he and I met, we're like the we were kind of started referring to ourselves as class of 23
Oh,
at the
cool.
in the AI
Cool.
exchange.
Yeah.
Our like AI family tree, and he and I fell into a really lovely group of humans who we set ourselves up as an accountability pod. And Hunter and I were we were both very concerned with how soon people were going to realize what frauds we were, because we know nothing about technology and we didn't know then that it was okay. So didn't even know the vocabulary. Like, I hadn't heard of an SOP or an AI, what is it, a API. Hunter and I didn't even know the words, but here we both are now. Like, we've been part of these supportive communities, and now, he has a thriving business, I have a thriving business, we have She Leads AI, and here we are on this podcast with you. Like, and I'm sure Hunter will reiterate, and this is a perfect lesson for people who are listening, who are not sure about diving in. Hunter and I have no tech background, zero, and look where we are right now.
Ta-da! Wow, I was not ready to come on. Wow, hello.
I didn't realize that you didn't know what the term API meant, and that's that's
we
unacceptable.
Can't be friends anymore.
Absolutely unacceptable. Hunter, welcome. I'm so excited to have you here.
Thank you, Kyle. I'm happy to be here. Hi, Anne. Good to see you.
Hi, Hunter.
I know. So I think it's so important. I mean, one of the reasons I started AI Salon was that for me, ChatGPT represented the first AI and machine learning technology that the 99% of people who are not programmers and engineers could take advantage of this stuff. And that's a lot more. 99 is a lot more than 1. There's a lot more of us than there are of engineers. And so I think the fact that a big part of your bonding is around the fact that maybe you weren't technical. I think that's why this is such a remarkable time in history. So welcome. I'm so excited to have you here and hear about your journey.
Yeah, thank you. I completely agree. I didn't know, like Ann said, I didn't know any of those terms. And, I would always consider myself I was techie, but I wasn't technical, right?
Yeah.
I liked the gadgets. I remember when I was a little kid, my dad got me that thing where you connect these wires and a little light bulb turns on, I was like, oh, this is great.
The 1001 electrical kit or whatever it was, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I, grew up in sort of, even though I grew up in LA, I grew up in a rural part of LA. So there was goats and horses and chickens and a very loud donkey down the street, that kind of vibe. And I saved enough money when I was 13 to buy my first computer. And I bought a Mac. It was a G3 Tower.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was that kind of Aqua and and you could open up
the door would open.
The door would open and you'd be like, ooh, I can put in RAM, I had to pay extra for a modem to connect to the internet.
That's exactly right. That was all the big deals, right? Having your computer, call another
$50 more to connect to the internet that I had to put it in myself.
Wow, amazing. So why don't you give us a little bit of background, tell us who you are, what you're doing right now, and let's just sort of open up the conversation.
Yeah, for sure. So like Anne mentioned, I went to, I'm trained, that's my dog barking away there.
Francis.
Because he likes to prance when he runs. It's just like this, always just so fancy. So I went to clown school. Can you tell? I was just about to say I went to acting school, and so I was a trained actor at a very early age. I was acting in plays, and I had auditions for film when I was very young, and then I got very freaked out because I was very, very scared, actually, and I was kind of a shy kid. I later learned that I'm somewhat of an introvert in sheep's clothing as an extrovert. And I went to school for acting. I've done Broadway. I do some TV now and then. Nice work if you can get it.
Yeah.
And I've also worked concurrently as a photographer for 20 years, still photographer, taking pictures. And so that gave me a taste for natural lighting and portraiture and connecting with people and telling stories through visual mediums and trying to find the best in everybody. You know, so many people would say, oh, I don't photograph well. Right. I was like, I don't think that's true. I think you haven't had a good photographer that knows your vibe. And my whole goal whenever I took actor headshots or portraits was to break people's photo face. You know, like everyone's like, my one angle. And my whole goal was to like, okay, let's get that done in the beginning. And then let's not do that anymore.
Then we'll take the real
and let's
do that anymore.
I mean, the oldest trick in the book is like, I'm just going to do a couple test shots and make sure I got the settings right. And then 45 minutes later, we're halfway through the session, right? You know, we never started, right? Because once we feel like we're on, we got to like do certain things. We have to sound and look a certain way.
Yep.
And now I do that with video. I do it remotely, not too unlike what you've been creating over there with Storyvine, Kyle, which I'm excited to riff on that because there's a lot of synchronicity there, but you've been in the game for a minute. So I'd love to learn and steal as much as possible from you on this call if you're willing.
Happy to share everything I've learned. But, you know, the at the core of what you're doing at Plumwheel and at the core of what we're doing at Storyvine and what Ann and I were talking about is authenticity.
Yeah.
And I feel like, there's a funny thing. I'm curious as to your take on this, because, you know, as someone also who comes from an arts background, human experience is essentially what we were trained on, and empathy and connection and things like that. And on the surface, if you look at AI, you know, the tropes are the robots are going to kill us, and it's this cold stuff that's going to replace creativity and replace human connection. I'm finding the opposite to be true. And I'm just curious. I feel like the value of authenticity is going to continue to increase as these AI tools, you know, proliferate lots and lots of content. But I'm just curious, like, share your experience with, you know, human connection and like the relationship between AI and human connection, because it's something I find deeply fascinating because I find it counterintuitive from what my expectations were.
Yeah, same. And also I think there's the authenticity and the human connection. I think the other thing that's a big piece of it for me is human creativity. And it's easy to think that, oh, you know, you just type in a prompt now and anyone can make AI art or whatever. And everyone said the same thing when you could take pictures on your phone about photography.
Right.
The same thing happened. And now it's happening on steroids and at scale in a way that's unprecedented. Yep. So it is changing our relationship to creativity and how we put ourselves out there in that way. And for me, there was a big unlock because, as also another ADHDer, I have a lot of ideas bouncing around all the time.
Yep.
This way, it's just a way to get a bunch of ideas organized in a way that I could never organize in 40 years of my life. And then suddenly
get them out of your head.
Get them out. Right? Yes.
Yeah. Like I was listening to you speak earlier, Kyle Shannon. I'm going to say the full name. Kyle Shannon O'Brien. Yeah. About using it as like now the multimodal thing where it's like, oh, I can start with a picture, or I can start with some writing, or I could talk to it. Like there's all these different ways to go in and out with creativity. And that really got my juices flowing in a way that was like, oh, I don't have to be the best at every type of art form, but now I have this co-pilot that can help me bring my ideas to life. And that was like a big shift for me. I was like, oh, there's new ways for me to be authentic, right? So now, right? There's new ways.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny, in a lot of ways, I talk with my wife about this a lot. She's a painter, and you know, in a lot of ways, art is about, you have the intention, but in some ways, art is about the moment when you stop, when you choose to stop and put it in the world, right? It's the choice of saying, this is something I want to share with the world. And what I'm finding with AI is I can get a lot more of those to the point that I'm like, oh, I want to share this with the world. You know what I mean? It's like there's just a prolificness, but it's still on me to go, is it art, right? Is it soup yet? Right?
Has it smell? A little more salt, a little more pepper.
Exactly, right?
A little spice, need a little kick to it, this one. Yeah.
Okay, I want to, so I wrote down authenticity at scale while you guys were talking, and I remembered something I saw after a conversation that, Hunter, you had with some of the women in She Leads AI last week. We were talking about authenticity and making content and being able to share it with the world. And someone asked me, is it still authentic if you are sharing it like over and over and over again? And I would love to hear what you think about it, and Kyle too, like in terms of art. Is it only authentic the first time and the rest of the time is just a regurgitation, or is it still authentic? How does your authenticity scale? Can your authenticity scale?
I love that. The first thing I think of is doing a play as an actor, right? I did a show on Broadway at Lincoln Center for a year. So I did that show almost, like 600 times? Yeah. 8 shows a week, something like that. Maybe it's less than that, but I once caught a fish this big, so maybe, I don't know, maybe it was less. But the tapping into what's real in that moment, as if I was doing it for the first time, as if I was sharing it for the first time, as if I was feeling it for the first time. So I think it's about how we show up. So if we're if we're on autopilot, then it probably isn't authentic or real or interesting. But if I can find something new to connect to, I don't have to be reinventing the wheel every time for it to land, And there's a new audience, there's a new listener, there's a new receiver. Yeah. And so it's maybe the first time that they're hearing it or seeing it or hear me say it.
Right.
So I think it's about showing up in a way that is true to yourself, and then people connect to that.
Yeah. That's what I was saying, Anne, earlier about, having a strong creative point of view. If it's authentic to your point of view and it represents who you are, who you were in that moment, then I think that's authentic. And, to your point, Hunter, someone seeing it for the first time, you might be like, oh, this, maybe it's lost its shine to you, or it's the excitement. But, for me, when that excitement gets re-energized is if I show something to someone that I've grown weary of, and they look at it and they're like, oh my God, that's revelatory. Then you're like, oh, right. Yeah. Right. That was revelatory for me once too. Right. Yeah. So I think what you're talking about, Anne, or something around the connection to the thing.
Yeah.
And that can be fleeting, but it can also be re-energized. Absolutely. And it goes back to the authenticity piece, I think, is about the people you interact with, not about the artifacts you create.
Ooh, that's good. Yeah.
It's like the community aspect that you were speaking to before I came on, of that garden, right? It's like, what is the old Zen saying? Chop wood and carry water, right? You just got to keep doing it.
And it's also like, think about every show you've ever done. Like, you probably don't remember the lines or the set or the costume you wore. You probably remember the people you worked with and the moment in the green room, when Sally threw up before she went, it's like,
poor Sally. I love her. Sally, she really meant well, but
she's just always had a sour stomach,
Oh, bless Sally. Bless her. if you didn't know, audience, I'm Sally. It's me. It's my code name backstage in the green room.
Oh, man.
Hunter, can you talk a little bit about, and we're gonna ask you some of our questions that we ask all of our guests, but before that, can you talk a little bit about overwhelm? Because I've really been fascinated watching your journey, what rabbit holes you went down. Some of the same rabbit holes that attracted both of us. And then there's other rabbit holes that I went down. And I feel like in some ways I've been like, give it to Mikey, he'll eat anything, sort of like, if Hunter likes it, I'm going to wait. He's going to go down that rabbit hole. And if Hunter keeps doing it, it's probably good. And I should start paying attention to it. But until he comes back and tells me, I'm just going to let him be out there doing it.
Yes. I call that my AI ravens.
Your AI ravens?
Yes. I send my ravens. Yes. I'll be like,
talk. Yeah.
Right?
Talk on that.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, for sure. Because it's like there are too many tools, right? There are way too many tools, and everything's like built on the foundation of these large language models. So they're all like, they're not necessarily wrappers, but it's like we're not building stuff from scratch, and that's the beauty of AI. So I'll see, I'm on a few newsletters, and then I'll send it, be like, oh, that tool looks cool. Oh yeah, I'm gonna send that. That's like something that Kyle does or likes. That's in Kyle's wheelhouse. So I'm going to go send that tool and be like, hey, I thought of you. Let me know how it is. Because I didn't.
Whoa, that's smart.
Like if it's vetted by other people, like on a newsletter that I respect or something, I'll be like, I don't have enough time in the day, but I'll just send it to the right people. And then if they have time and they're
just see what comes back.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really smart.
They're my free R&D department.
Yeah. Use your friends as your free R&D.
Well, again, I mean, that goes back to the value of community. I mean, it's because if you're in a community like, the Salon or She Leads AI or any of them, Rachel's community, the power of it is that there are so many different points of view that even if you and I have similar technical backgrounds, you're going to be looking at these tools through a different lens than I am, right? Yeah. Or Jim Ross, who manages storage facilities, looks at it through a very different lens, right? And being able to see what people value is, I think it's the only way to keep up in any way, because it's completely overwhelming.
Yeah. The overwhelm is real, and I feel like we go through cycles, right? Like you were saying, like, oh, there'll be a whole new slew of things that come out. I'm like, oh boy, here we go. Yeah. Like I just went down the whole vibe coding rabbit hole for like 2 weekends, and now I'm like, cool. Now I know what it's like. Not my lane again.
Again.
Here we are again.
I'll tell you what. I think that, and if you haven't played with Lovable is the one that's
I spent 2 weekends in Lovable. Yeah,
it's maddening. But like I had Lovable for the first time 2 nights ago. I've been trying to do an Asteroids clone, from the original arcade game for months, and they just always suck. And 2 nights ago, Lovable, because they came out with version 2.0.
Yeah,
I one-shotted an Asteroids that was brilliant, and so I think I
literally started it 2 weeks ago. I should have waited 2 weeks until
seriously. like I kind of feel like, but the way you characterize it of like checking in on these tools, like it feels right to me, because they do keep evolving. So at some point you're going to check back into something and go, oh shit, it can do it now.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I don't have to like wrestle it to the floor and then I get it to work.
Exactly.
And then I move its pinky and it's like my entire body is broken. And I'm like, how, what? I just like blew on your direction and it's like a house of cards. And
it just completely collapses. I know. Yeah. Could you make this corner more round? And it completely rewrites the thing, right?
Yeah, I call it spaghetti coding.
Yeah,
it's like you do something and it like gets kind of far and then it kind of forgets what it's doing. And it's like, but what if we like completely did it a different way midstream? And it's like, that's not a good idea. Now the code is just like spaghetti. It's crazy.
That's fucking awesome. Just awesome. Okay, so let's jump in. Let's get to our questions.
Yeah.
So, you ready?
Yes.
I'll do number 1.
Okay.
What was the tipping point where you knew you had to go all in on AI? Like, you sound like you've got a similar background, or you've got, sort of the arts and the technical thing, and you were comfortable weaving between those. What was the point at which for you were like, oh, this AI stuff's different and I need to go all in on it? And then what's it been like since then?
The second I tried the paid version of ChatGPT when it came out. So there was the free, but like that first month, I like tried the free version and I was like, okay, yeah, cool chatbot. Like, all right, whatever. And a buddy of mine is like, no, did you pay for it or did you use the free version? I was like, I did the free version. He's like, throw $20 at it and then talk to me. And I was like, okay. And I was like, oh my God. And I went in and I never came out.
Wow. And what was different about it?
So I am dyslexic and ADHD. And I started bouncing off ideas of different like characters that I've had in mind and a screenplay, like seedling, just like a little glimmer of an idea. And then in 2 days, I had an outline, or like in 1 day and a couple hours, I had an outline. And then in 2 weeks, I had a first draft. I was like, this is bananas.
Yeah.
And what was so wild was simultaneously, I was about to be on strike as a SAG actor because of AI. And then I was like on the picket lines and using ChatGPT, because I wasn't like picketing, we need to put this back in the bottle, because I knew there was no going back. I was like, I'm fighting for legislation.
Yeah.
And accountability, which I still don't think we have. And I mean, very well, you're going to Washington, you just mentioned do things. But that was, we were talking about AI avatars then because CGI is not new in my community.
Right.
Right. But now I was like, everybody, this is going to be your life in a year. And they're like, oh, okay, whatever. It's like, now, hello, here we are, right? Here we are.
Yeah, exactly. The Producers Guild, what they want to pay $200 for lifetime likeness licensing, right?
I was like, are you out of your freaking mind? I want my residual checks for 42 cents.
Yeah,
like
exactly. In perpetuity.
Perpetuity. For anyone that doesn't know, residual checks is after you do something, and they can be a silly small amount after it runs for a few years. But yeah, to buy out my human likeness for life for a couple $100, that's outrageous. And we knew that was outrageous. And so we put some guardrails on. So at the same time, I was navigating, oh, this is really messed up, and this is about to change everything forever.
So the balance, how do you reconcile the difference between AI is a complete threat to some of the professions you've spent most of your life at least circling around, if not in the middle of, right? And the fact that AI is this incredibly empowering tool for creative expression. Like it's both. Yeah. It's a dessert topping and a floor wax. So how do you balance those two?
What was that?
Sorry, it's a dessert topping and a floor wax?
Oh, sorry. I guess I'm showing my age here. That was an old SNL skit with Dan Aykroyd where it was one of those fake SNL commercials where it's a dessert topping and a floor wax. So, anyway,
Dan Aykroyd. I love Dan Aykroyd. That's great.
It was in the Bass-O-Matic era.
Bass-O-Matic. Yeah,
Exactly.
Disgusting.
So anyway, how do you reconcile, or how do you balance those two things?
Both can be true.
Yeah.
Both are true right now.
Right.
So for me, when I first started using AI and I was very public about it, and we were on strike, I got a lot of backlash from some of my artist friends.
I'm sure.
I imagine you got some as well. We probably all did in our respective communities. If you're some of the early learn out louders. And so there are certain tools that I still am like, I don't know if I can really deploy using that. I will experiment with certain things. I'm not going to yuck anyone else's yum. I won't say which ones they are, but it's just sometimes I'm like, it doesn't really pass the ethical sniff check for me right now. And they're gonna make a deal, or they'll implode, or we'll lose. Like, it's like gonna be one of those three things.
Right. But it ain't going away, right?
It's not going away.
Mhm.
None of it's going away. So for me, I can look at the before and after of me using AI, which is I am doing more creative projects than I was before. So for me, as someone that's embraced it and is using it on a personal level, I can do more expression, more creation, more ideation, more seeing what works, and maybe spending less time on something. If I'm like, oh, you know what, shininess wore off, I'm going to actually go work on this other thing instead.
Yeah. I think it's smart that you're experimenting with the things where even like my POV is it's smarter to at least know where the technology is, right? So the fact that you're experimenting with the stuff that you might not go there, but at least you know where the tech is, right?
Yeah, I agree. And that way I can see where the tech is gonna be in a few months.
Yeah.
Because when like 03 came out and all this stuff, like at the beginning of this year when all of these things came out, I didn't want to be a jerk about it with people. And I'm like, yeah, none of that is new. That's just them putting all of the things they've been working on into a new package. And it's better. But I was not surprised by any of it.
Yeah.
Because I just am following it. And then I can be like, oh, okay, this helps me plan ahead for my business. To be like, cool. So I don't need to go build X, Y, and Z because I can see that this multi-billion-dollar company is going to go build it, and I'm going to plug into it when it's ready. So let me focus on the things that they cannot build, which I am uniquely qualified to bring to the people I work with, that I coach, that I'm interacting with, that I am on the journey with. That's what I can bring to it. And then I'm just going to kind of like plug in to the word I didn't know before I met, and APIs, all the APIs. Now I'm an API junkie. I learned that from our friend Tyler Fisk. I'm like, do they have an API? Do they have integrations? No.
I hate to break it to you, but the MCPs are the new APIs.
Well, yeah, it's true.
Okay.
No, I know. Everyone's like, people stop using jargon. I just want to understand what you're talking about. I used to be that person. And I was talking to my friend, and he's like, dude, I don't know what you just said. And I was like, no, I'm one of those people.
We're one of those people. Hunter, so now we have this question that for some guests it's easier to ask than others, because the question is about in your area of expertise, what AI trends are you paying attention to? In your case, we first need to know which area of expertise you're going to focus on. So you have a number of things that you're good at and that you spent time in. Choose one of those. Like right now you're like full on the founder journey, right? But you're also on the content creation and getting people over humps, and now you're also, doing auditions again. So from some vantage point in your life, what is the AI trend you're paying the most attention to right now?
Yeah. Well, I think the thing that all of those share is in the tent of media. I'm under the entertainment, media content tent. Content, perhaps.
Content.
That's very
We
cool.
love a dad pun around here. I grow this mustache for no reason. So for me, the tent is content and media. And now very much in the realm of video. But the thing I was thinking about before I came on, because it just happened, and I think it's not the first time it happened, but it's happened again, is the transparency when using tools and AI tools for content creation, and the lack of transparency. So there was this thing that happened in the news a week or two ago. Did you hear about the radio station in Australia?
I just read about it right before we came on.
There you go. So it just happened. Did you hear about this, Anne?
No. What is it?
So there's this CADA, I don't know how to say it, but CADA. And it's a radio station that had been using they cloned someone that worked at the company's voice in 11 Labs, and they had been broadcasting a radio station since November, and they never disclosed that it was an AI DJ. And it just
no one knew.
Nobody
No
knew.
one knew.
The DJ's name was థ, though. So I mean, like, okay, if you're paying attention, that's. But you know, maybe they're Gen Z. I don't know. But it just broke, and now everyone's like, "Well, this is terrible." And so there's a lot of backlash. It's sparking the debate around legislation. Again, the voice actors union over there was like up in arms. For me, when it comes to content creation and media and videos and voiceovers, it's if you're in a situation where you probably should be disclosing it, then you should, right? Because not all platforms are made equal. You know, if I'm entering a space that's like an AI space, I'm like, well, I'm going to assume there's probably AI things going on. But if it's like content creation for yourself or broadcasting it, I think it said they had like 72,000 listeners.
Right.
I'm going to want to know, because then when I found out later, then I feel like I'm being lied to. And there's deception.
Exactly. There's also something for me, I'm curious to your thoughts on this. There's something for me about if I'm doing something that is going to take someone's job away, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's different than if I'm creating a podcast that would have not existed anywhere before. Like there are times where I might create a song where I just create a song for a single person and I send it to them. That
right.
I would have never hired a musician to make that song, right? So context is really important in this, I think. But I think your point is that the lines are incredibly blurry, and I think they're going to get blurrier and blurrier.
I agree. Yeah, because it's tricky, right? Because there's so many jobs that are going away by making these tools and using these tools, and that's what's happening. There's no way around it.
Do you think that there are going to be new jobs? Well, I know there are going to be, but I'm curious, are you starting to see where there might be new kinds of jobs that didn't exist before?
In the entertainment industry?
Yeah.
I think it's still very early days.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of fear still.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this year, as we're seeing, and especially I know you both know, like 2025 is the year of AI video going to the next level, and graphics and all of that stuff. You know, my buddy David Wexler, who's been doing this sort of 3D graphic stuff for years, he's been saying for a while now, he's like, well, soon any middle schooler is going to be able to make a Marvel movie from their bedroom. And we're pretty much there now. Like, that's kind of what's happening.
Yep.
And there's a part of me, kind of like you were saying, that's like, oh, I made a song for my friend that was like, you know, a Broadway musical sound or whatever. I couldn't have paid $100,000 for one track from my friend. If you can afford that, good for you. I'm glad NFTs worked out for you. But
exactly.
But for the rest of us, it's a way to get things out there. And I think there's actually, just like coding and creativity, there's a lower barrier of entry for someone to be like, I have an idea for a movie. And you're like a kid, you know, I used to love shooting movies with my friends, and we would do it, you know, and then I bought that G3, and then I was editing with my buddy David Wexler. Like, we were making 3D graphics and stuff, and it was like, it became more accessible. And now you can have like studio quality stuff that's way more accessible.
Yep.
And then on the flip side of it, then it's like, well, are you not hiring graphic artists and all these people? Right. And those people, if you're, like you were saying earlier, when you're expert in your niche, those are the people that are going to be guiding these new systems.
Yeah.
And those are the people that are going to be like, no, that one's not good. Don't do that.
Right,
like,
right.
You didn't notice there. I mean, this is not really a problem anymore. It's like nobody noticed that person has 6 fingers. Like really, like, nobody saw that. That doesn't look good, you know. And there'll be more minutia like that. It'll look better, but soon it'll just be like, right, make the movie, and it's like, well, we need some like shaping of the story structure.
Yeah. All right, let me ask you the last question here, and this is a fun one. So, you know, it's the AI Readiness Project. What does AI readiness mean to you, and what's your advice for someone trying to figure out how they get into this world?
Curiosity. It means curiosity for me, to let down what we think about something and trying it, and an exploration, right? To just kind of muck around and find out. And I think what you were saying earlier is community, is connecting with people and sharing what you're up to with it, because then we get to learn from each other. And I feel like it felt like a light switch where like everyone was like freaked out by the thing, and now everyone's like, oh, let's ask ChatGPT. You know, it's like it really seemed like it happened overnight. I blinked and now everyone's using it.
Right.
So it's still not everyone, but I feel like the rings in the tree like expanded. Right?
Yeah, they're rippling out. Yeah.
Yeah. So be curious, try things, and just bring as much of yourself to it if you're willing.
Yeah.
The more you put in,
I think that one's huge, right? That actually ties it back to the authenticity thing, I think, right?
Yeah.
You know, play with it, understand what it is, but bring yourself to it, bring your point of view, bring your creative vision, whatever it might be.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Perfect segue. Hunter, can you talk to the nice people about what you're doing right now? We've talked, you know, I started by teasing, you know, how you and I got into this accountability group, and we didn't know the vocabulary words at the time, even though I was, you know, old school Carmen Sandiego with my Apple IIe in the living room, and you were mowing lawns so that you could buy your first computer. But nonetheless, here we are. And then, you know, the eras that we've gone through and the things that we've watched our friends/ravens do in AI. Come back to us and we try it on and see if it fits. And then a couple weekends later, we go, meh, maybe not for us.
Yeah.
Because we do have the luxury in some ways of going down those rabbit holes.
Yeah.
But how does it all come together to what you're doing right now with Plumwheel? And I know that many, many, many of the nice people out there are going to be very interested, because so many of us have thought leadership that we want to share with the world, but we have 8,000 million reasons why we're not doing it. So talk about Plumwheel.
Well, thank you. Yeah. Well, it was so fun. Thank you for the opportunity for today. And a couple weeks ago when I got to be with your girlies, I think, as you called them, they're amazing, very incredible women. And that friction point of just, as we said on that workshop, which I loved, was clicking that darn red button, that record button, right? And talking to that weird void of the camera. And it's like very weird to be like, okay, let me talk about me now. And, you know, and it's cringe or uncomfortable or whatever it is. And just getting over that from that 0 to 1 point is the biggest hurdle. I love the analogy you used, Anne, on that, which is the hardest part about going to the gym is getting from the couch to the doorknob. The rest is easy, right? You know,
from here to the record button.
Yeah. It's a shorter distance, but boy, are my fingers tired. So helping people get over that first step, you know, because there's so much other stuff that goes on after. And, you know, Kyle's been in this game a long time with all of the editing and all of that stuff put together and getting it out there. And now we're seeing a lot of tools that are doing that. And that's awesome. It's building out, it's removing the friction, right? It's like releasing the entry, the barrier of entry, right? So for me, what I really love is conversation, as you can probably tell. Like, I'm loving talking to you. I love breaking through to people. I love asking questions. I love learning about them. And I love going back to my photography days where it's like, yeah, you're great on camera. You just needed someone to talk to. And for me, I think it's as easy as that. And we got really comfortable with, or it became normalized to hop on a call like this, a Zoom call and whatever, StreamYard call, wherever we are during the pandemic. And that like was a new barrier of entry that was lowered and we could come in. And for me, creating content should be as easy as talking to a friend or someone that you're comfortable with. And that's what I love to do. I love to get in there and learn about what you do. And then, yeah, I have my own automation workflow stuff, and we can plug in all the fancy bells and whistles, or I can help you learn how to do that in some capacity, a little DIY. But what's most interesting to me is to be there with you, and then we'll do all the other stuff.
Right. So you give them the authenticity on ramp, and then the content just naturally comes from that, right? Because like you just need someone being who they are, and if you pull that out of them and make it safe, then that's awesome. And that's the basic offering, right? They sit and talk with you for a bit, and then out comes a bunch of content they can share with the world.
Yeah, and actually we do it end to end, so we'll post it out for you on all our platforms as well. So show up with me for an hour, you get a month of content. If you want the elevator pitch, I'm available. You can go to plumwheel.com.
There you go.
We can talk.
Bring it in here, Bob. Hey, Bob, I got this Plumwheel thing. Not sure about the name, but this Hunter guy, he's all right.
Anne's like, I did not go to acting school. Get me out of here. Do you realize, Anne, this is what like hanging out with actors was like all the time.
It's pretty much what it is.
I feel like I've walked into a Twilight Zone right now. I'm like, who's Bob?
Wait, who's on first?
SNL skit waiting to happen.
Very much.
Exactly. Yeah. People that commit to the bit. I can see that Kyle commits to
the bit. Kyle can commit to it. I mean, some of these bits have been going on for 3 years.
It sounds exhausting, and definitely for everyone around me.
It's exhausting for everyone watching. They're like, really? We're doing this one again?
Oh, that one. Oh. I think we write some new jokes.
You know what that reminds me of? I know we got to go, but like when Kyle pulls out a box and everyone in the chat goes, oh no, it's the box. Oh, see, no, it's the box metaphors again. No.
I explain large language models right there, buddy. Someday, if you're nice enough, I'll let you in on the box metaphor.
Oh my gosh, I can't help it. This is a total nerd reference, but when I hear that, I think of a terrifying movie. What's in the box? Do you know what that's from? That's from, Kyle? Oh, it's from the movie Seven, about the seven deadly sins. Brad Pitt's like, what's in the box? What's in the box? We say it all. It's horrible. I won't even tell you what it's referring to.
Yeah, no, that I know. Now that I know the reference, I know what's in the box. So.
Yeah, so it's an LLM apparently.
It's
not as terrible.
It's a large language model.
All of the knowledge of the world, right there.
Yeah.
Well, this has been an absolute pleasure, Hunter.
Delight.
We got to bring you back. This was awesome.
Anytime.
So fun.
I love that I can do this with you too. I really appreciate the opportunity and learn from you and riff and have a good time. So thank you.
Awesome. All right.
Same, Hunter.
See you out there on the board.
I'll see you soon.
Bye.
All right. Bye.